What are some unspoken rules of sex? If it's a one night stand and she says you don't have to wear a condom, you should definitely wear a condom. If you can't think of anything SI to say, don't say anything at all, just make noises appropriate to your enjoyment level. No. Number 24. Your penis feels amazing. Why you too? Yeah. You like that? You f***ing retarded? Isn't cut it? If you're going to suck a vibrator seductively, turn the f***ing thing off first. If your girlfriend cracks a tooth on a vibrator, don't laugh. I remember when I first started dating 6 years ago. I'm 25. And I'd get a BJ not knowing how to go about ejaculating. So I'd ask where to go and it always ruined the moment. Finally, a few years back I started just saying, I'm about to finish and let them handle it how they want to. So I guess that's a rule. You might try something a little more like, oh god, I'm gonna come. Less businesslike. Ladies, when you're on top, don't go so crazy that you start catching air. Nothing is a quicker boner killer than being afraid you might snap it. If you recently ate spicy foods, wash your hands. I've found that ladies do not appreciate a surprise spicy vagina. Wash your hands always before SI stuff. If it slips out, the one on top puts it back in. Never make fun of someone's orgasm face. If he or she has trouble finishing, don't just stop attempting to get them there. And don't rush them. I should add this. Know your partner's limits. Stop if it's obviously not going to happen. And don't shame them if it doesn't happen. Stop when things start peeling or bleeding though. When giving a handy, my ex would always say, ugh. Are you almost there? Instant buzzkill. Edit. You'll give some weird responses. Goddamn. Plus, I never thought this would be one of my top comments. Don't always speed up if she is liking it. Women like rhythm. Damn it. It took me a little too long to learn. If she likes it. If you want your asshole rimmed, you should seriously consider an enema and a shower, then a dry pat down with a clean linen followed by a wet wipe followed by another rinse and pat down. Make that dirty hole clean enough to lick, and I will lick as long as you want. If you just want it licked and have 9 hours of desk chair farts built up, you need to rethink how you ask me. Edit. Jesus Christ, people, I cannot believe how many of you don't know how to not get hepatitis. Thanks for the upvotes, you dirty ass lickers. Don't go ass to vagina. Infections, yo. Edit. I delete all my comments because of snoopers like you. Shoo. Scram. V2A. You're okay. A to V. Hurts when you pee. Don't laugh when they're crying. Did once to a virgin cuz I thought she was kidding and it was tears of joy. Boy was I wrong. Always pee after sex. Pee after you FCK or you'll be FK'd when you pee. Edit. There appear to be some questions as to why you should pee after sex. As you, an Assyrian atheist, and you Gryphon Waray have pointed out. AAA. You can get a urinary tract infection from having sex because the thrusting pushes all sorts of fun bacteria back up the urethra. And GW. For women. Because the urethra is so short, it can go up to the bladder and kidney much faster than for men. It's good practice to pee right after. Don't fart while receiving oral. I read somewhere where it says, if you fart whilst receiving a blowjob and they keep going like nothing happened. Nipple play is great, but they are not jerky. Please don't bite. Suck way too hard. And or chew on them like you're trying to take them off. Edit. I mean, bite as in chomp like an alligator doing a death roll. You're gonna want to ask before you venture to Browntown. And I'm not just talking about trying to stuff your cock in her ass like it's the last helicopter out of Saigon. I mean a finger. A tongue. Nothing. Nothing kills a good FCK session like you getting a little adventurous and trying to rim the poor girl out if she's not into it. She clenches up and pulls away and says, what are you doing? You realize you've blown it. Again. She doesn't consider her arsehole fair game and now all she's thinking about is sh*t. There's no going back. Comma again. Lol. Reciprocate oral. And an L. The last 3 guys I've hooked up with I gave like 30+ minute blowjobs and none of them had the decency to go down on me at all. Edit. I'm super clean and shaved. Okay. You guys can stop telling me my vagina probably stinks. Use a contraceptive. Unless you want to have a baby. Understand that even with a contraceptive, you can still have a baby. Have fun in there. Be vocal and lively. Most people don't like sex with a lifeless body. Brush your teeth and take a fragrance-free wet wipe to yourself beforehand. But what about if you're going for the no shower world record? How about this? It's okay to laugh. It's okay to point. However, there can be no pointing and laughing. Wash before you start. Your cock, ball sack, armpits, teeth and asshole, even if you're not going to be using your ass. And to save time, you can even use the same brush. Ask before you chuck it in her ass. Edit. Wow, this is like the only post I have with more than 1 point. Thanks guys. I tried light bondage with my ex. So was tied up. He took this as an opportunity to finally try that. Not cool. If you're receiving a blowjob, give a courtesy tap before you blow your load. For the love of all that is holy. Just a heads up is all we ask. I do this also because it's SI as hell to hear the MHMM after telling a girl I'm about to come. Where does one provide this courtesy tap to? Just flick her in the forehead before I blow my load? Edit. Thank you. Random stranger for my first gilding. DR, I'll never forget it. Edit 2. What? Double gilded? Thank you so much. Stranger. Comma, give a courtesy tap. Or you could. You know. If someone says they're not comfortable with something, then it ends there. You can discuss it later. But don't push the issue. Sex is messy, so go apeshti on one another and don't think about what's going on. Throw apeshti. Got it? Do not wipe your dick on her curtains when done. If she says don't stop, do not reply with believing. It will be very funny, but it will kill the mood. If your bodies push together in a weird way and you make a fart noise with your chests or something, it's okay to laugh. That shit is funny. I always put music during sex. It became a habit. Sometimes when I have sex in a quiet room it sounds so weird. We stop for a while, we put music and carry on. Keep your fingernails trimmed. Proper hygiene. Guys, cut your nails a couple days beforehand. Both make sure to wash up well the day of. Wear clean underwear. Have something ready to clean up after. Edit. A lot of people complaining no spontaneity. There are other ways to make sure there are no sharp nails, which take less time but more effort. The rest you should just keep on top of when you may get lucky. Cut your nails. And file them. Those freshly clipped nails can have some jagged edges. Nail file, emery, boards cost like $2 for 10 boards. Stop means stop and oh my god. Yes. Means keep doing exactly what you are doing. When pulling out an L beads, don't say and the winning numbers are. Edit. Thank you kind stranger for the gold. Alright. Not an unwritten rule, but I'm a guy. Ladies, tell us what you like and how you like it. We'll be happy to oblige. If we're close enough to FCK, we're close enough to be honest. If you like us to finger your butt while we go down on you, tell us. We won't think you're a freak and it will probably turn us on. We're guys. If you're worried that you're a freak, you should see some of the FKed up shit we think about. Let us know what turns you on. We'll both have a better time. Thank you. No an L on curry night. Don't call your partner a retardee. Wash your dick before sex. Cheesy smelling dick is not nice. And girls, Washy PSSY if you want to be eaten out. I can smell the BuzzFeed writers hovering around this post. Writers. Got my balls sucked once, felt like my soul was getting sucked out my dick. If there's a link-bait article on BuzzFeed tomorrow with the same title, I am gonna feel so betrayed. Just like when your significant other doesn't follow these 10 simple sex rules. Don't shout some hilarious catchphrase when you come. My friend used to do that with his girlfriend all the time. And it wound her up something fierce. One week it was hey you. The next week it was Joy. In the voice of Stimpy. Even though it nearly caused them to break up. He still carried on doing it. That is until, after reaching the end of her rope, his girlfriend started shouting new ice in the gruffest, most manly voice she could manage whenever she orgasmed. My friend stopped after that. Life rule. Not just sex rule. When the person you're in a relationship with seriously wants you to stop doing something, seriously consider it. Oh my god, that sounds so annoying. Why do people feel the need to act like badly written sitcom characters? Ignore the queef. Don't acknowledge it and just keep at it. Edit. So I'm getting a lot of replies that I should have a sense of humor and laugh about it. I do have a sense of humor and yes, I do think it's funny. But I'm focusing on the task at hand and I'm trying to nut without interrupting the SI time mood. Don't go a raping. Edit. Don't smell a finger that was up your partner's butt. I learned that the hard way and honestly I don't know what I expected. Unless explicitly agreed on beforehand. After your dick has been in an ass, it doesn't go anywhere else. The only sex I've ever walked out on was when I was all glassy eyed and loose-limbed from an L and he tried to shove his dick into my mouth like it hadn't just been in my ass. I don't care what they do in PRN. Unless you know your partner is into ass to mouth, you do not go there. Reciprocation. If someone offers you something, make sure to at the very least offer it back. The biggest reason for this is that many SZUL partners want something that asking for outright is embarrassing. Yeah. You have seen, touched and all but devoured their genitals and other things with yours. But sometimes, asking for X can be embarrassing. So they offer something that they want you to offer so badly, but wouldn't be caught dead asking for. So, offer what you are given offered. And even if you are bad at it, at least show some form of effort. All of this, of course, is just my experience. If you can smell yourself, they can smell you times 1,000. No matter how right it feels. Don't blow raspberries on her vagina. Monogamy means actually having sex with your partner. If you've seen it in PRN, it's probably not going to work. I imagine lesbians keep it simple with one rule. The only rule of sex. If it is consensual, anything is possible. Girls, always tell a guy if you're on the rag. If he's fine with it, go for it. But don't let him find out unexpectedly during a 69. While on bottom. With no escape. So much blood. Still scarred to this day. Okay, so I thought this was all standard knowledge, but a recent SZUL experience caused me to rethink that. With that in mind, here are some of the things I had the misfortune of experiencing. He dug his chin into my collarbone. I'm assuming this was not deliberate. But don't do that ever. Also, for an uncomfortably long period, he let his entire body weight rest on my lungs while thrusting. This is never okay at any age appropriate for SZUL relations. I would have said something but I couldn't breathe. Again, be aware of your body and your partner's face turning purple from lack of oxygen. Finally, post-coitus, he removed the condom and laid on top of me, with his junk on near my lady parts. I tried my hardest to shift so it wasn't near it, but alas. He kept shifting with me and assumed my labia was a cradle for his recuperating member. Gentlemen, this move single-handedly undid everything the condom worked so hard to prevent. Don't do this either. Edit. What I meant by the age comment is, past childhood you shouldn't rest your entire body weight on anyone's lungs. If your partner tells you to do something, you do it. X. Slap my ass. Choke me. etc etc. They're telling you because that's what they like and what will make the sex 100,000% more enjoyable for both parties. If you're a guy getting a blowjob, you should warn the other person when you're about to come. Do not remove an L beads as if you are starting a chainsaw. Edit. Okay. My top comment and dual gold is about anal beads. Thanks Reddit. How else are you supposed to start your girlfriend in the morning? Edit. Thanks for my first ever gold. If the phone rings, ignore it. If the doorbell rings, ignore it. She's wearing a ring. Get out because that's probably her husband trying to get in. If she says to keep doing that, keep doing that. When the smoke detector goes off, use more lube and slow down. If you find out you have an STD, inform people before you have sex with them. Get tested regularly. How is this not on here? Remember to pull out halfway through and use your dick to perform a puppet halftime show. Never ask are you done? Have you come yet? Full stop. Edit. Have you came? Do not attempt anything suggested on Reddit. You will either get injured, endure extreme pain, or lose a limb. Just do not try it at home. Never change lanes without signaling. Sounds like somebody had a bad Valentine's Day. If he or she is under 16, you are in trouble. Unless you are a priest. If you are a priest, and he/she is 16, then they're too old. No fun relocations or promotions for you. I've found that some guys try to maintain control of the entire sexuation. If I'm on top, don't try to control my movement and motion. Especially when I start getting into it. When you're on top I give you full control to find a rhythm you enjoy. Let me do the same. I like to compare it to meals my nearly blind grandma makes. You first check the smell. Then you decide whether you eat it or not. Oh god, what are you doing to your poor blind grandmother? Don't cut off any body parts without permission. Stop means stop. Seriously, sometimes a cervix hammering feels good, but other times it's incredibly painful. I was having sex with this guy once and he hit the completely wrong angle. It was painful and I needed him to stop. What did he do? He continued plundering for a good 30 seconds after a few thrusts I could have forgiven. Momentum and all that. But it went on for way too long. If she can speak while giving you a BJ, you're too small. Ladies, if you're expecting oral, do not use a wipe beforehand. Go take a shower instead. Those wipes make your vagina taste like poison sauce. Never wipe cum on her forehead and whisper Simba. For you non-heteronormative males out there, if you make plans to meet and he's bottoming, don't f***ing cancel. Seriously, it takes about an hour to prep for a pounding and nothing is worse when the top says hey, I'm going to have to cancel tonight, insert reasoning excuse here. Sometimes poop happens. If it does, don't make a big deal out of it. Just clean up, relax for a minute, cuddles, comma, and then hop back into it. Go slow at first. Better yet, play and help him relax first. Don't ignore the balls. Don't ignore the nipples. Best position is missionary for a HFO. Especially if you're angled just right. Rolls go beyond just top and bottom. Try being a side or frotting every now and then. Never underestimate the power of a good maquillage session. Sometimes it's better than the actual sex. As previously noted. Unless he's into it. Don't come in his mouth. Or eyes. Or ass. Respect his desire to use protection and vice versa. Listen to your gut. Don't squeeze a guy's balls unless he asks. Source: me. July 2012. Edit. My highest voted comment is about a traumatic testicular incident. Sweet. July 2012. Never forget. Keep your eyes closed while making out. It's always scary as hell when I open my eyes for a second and see that my GF hasn't closed hers since we started. You don't go straight to the butt stuff. To all the small penises out there. If you came too fast, don't continue thrusting to hide it. The condom slips off and shit gets serious. No eating. Left a bag of fritters on the dresser one night and while on top DH grabs a few and shoves them in his mouth. Not the easiest thing in the world, to say the least. Never go ass to mouth. I'm a guy and here's some general rules I like to follow. Always be willing to lube vag with tongue for at least 5-10 minutes before engaging. Trim pubes and fingernails. Jerk off as soon as possible beforehand so you don't too pump chump it. Shitty jerk off twice if you have to. Nothing worse than when she's screaming don't stop and you blow your load. Try to focus on her pleasure more than yours. Because, after all, the dick holds the power. It may be awkward at first, but try your best to stimulate the clit with a finger thumb during intercourse to increase her pleasure. Listen for auditory clues for what she liked and how she liked it. Last but not least, relax and have fun. Don't tell the girl you're with that you're a virgin. Fake it till you make it. If you're with someone you care about, then you should really be honest about stuff like this. Someone who cares about you is going to want to work with you.